Welcome, Marshall Reddick investors. My name is Garrett Stason, and I am a real estate advisor and realtor here at Marshall Reddick. It's great to have a lot of familiar faces on this webinar tonight, and a rather large attendance sheet. So Florida does bring a lot of people, or draws a lot of people's attention. So tonight we're going to be covering the Florida market, and specifically the homes that cash flow and also have a lot of appreciation. I will be co-hosting tonight's webinar with our Florida agents Terry and Ken Duffy, which I will bring on later. So I am very excited to cover this booming and continuously growing market with you all tonight. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. Okay. So jumped ahead there. So for those who have worked with us in the past, and for our brand new investors on this call, we are continuously expanding and growing for the better. Even those who worked with us a few years ago may not know what we fully do today. So there are four arms that really comprise Marshall Reddick, and the section up top in the white really goes over what we do here in California, and then the blue is what we do out of state. So first, Marshall Reddick is a licensed California broker who helps people buy and sell property like myself, whether that be your investment property or primary here. Second, and probably the most familiar, which is I'm covering right now on the bottom, is that we have a strong network of real estate professionals outside of California in our designated markets to help people purchase investment property, like Terry and Ken. Third, we are a private money lender. So for those who can't qualify for conventional financing, we offer a solution through our lending services. And then lastly, for those who have property here in California, we are a property manager covering the LA County and Orange County markets. And as you can see below, through the Marshall Reddick network, we have a variety of amazing resources that really pertain to any real estate transaction, such as lenders, property managers, CPAs, insurance agents, all the key pieces and team that's really going to be supporting and driving your future business within real estate. All right, so who's speaking right now? So to give you a little bit of background on myself, my name is Garrett Stason again. So I'm a real estate advisor and realtor here with Marshall Reddick. I got my real estate license back in 2013. I got involved with real estate really through just family ties. My uncle was doing private money lending and still is, and my grandparents were, brokers here in California. So really just growing up with the real estate talk around me sparked my interest and continued my path to eventually get into real estate. So before this, I was doing a financial advising for about 3 years beforehand. So I have an extensive background as far as planning goes, which is essentially what I do here with clients. So, when I'm not working, I like to be outside, snowboarding, golf, pretty much everything they do here in California for those that are, especially here in Southern California. All right, so what is my role? Why work with an advisor? So first and foremost, it does not cost you anything to consult with us or myself, right? My goal is to help clients really figure out the ins and outs of how to go about this real estate process, whether it be your first property or whether it be your 10th or 11th property, figuring out where to invest, how to get started, what's the process involved with that, and pointing you in the right direction through our team members like Terry, who's our agent out there, with our property managers, lending, stuff like that. So my goal is to really help you at your own pace, figure out the who, what, when, where, and why as far as your real estate goals go. It's very easy to find time to talk to me. I'm very flexible as far as text message, phone calls, emails, Saturdays, Sundays. It doesn't matter. Whatever really works for you is how I operate. And what you and I are going to do is really sit down, talk, and find out a plan that fits you best. Not everyone has the same goals. Not everyone has the same financial stability, and not everyone is looking to achieve the same outcome with purchasing real estate. So it's a customized plan that you and myself will really start doing from start to finish, and getting you in touch with the key pieces along the way. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do with you by starting off, right? Figuring out, your criteria. What is it that's driving you? What experience do you have? What are you looking to get out of this? Really the why question. And figuring out what's driving it, right? Are you looking for cash flow? Are you looking for appreciation? What is it that I can help you with? What's your risk tolerance? How much experience do you have? Through these series of questions, you and I will establish a market and figuring out the best place that makes sense for you to invest. Okay, so for, again, those who aren't familiar with Marshall Reddick, or for those who haven't read this yet, the Reddick Property Rating ebook goes into detail on our property class. So backing up here to our previous slide, on the bottom is that heat chart that really goes into the property classes that we identify here at Marshall Reddick, and really the foundation of what we do, right? Establishing what property class you are going to have the most success in, and that also is going to fit your goals and criteria. So as you can see on the bottom, A-class properties, B-class, and C-class are all different. A-class tailoring way more towards appreciation. It's going to have a higher purchase price, whereas B and C-class are going to have more cash flow involved because it's a lower purchase price. And then again, you have the tenant quality, right? So with the C-class, you can tend to find more, more turnover versus an A-class property to have more tenants that are going to or own in the future. So I'm sorry, one second. Okay, back to my other slide here. When it goes. All right, is this loading? Sorry about that. Let's. Okay, so here is the property ebook, which I was explaining. It's going to go into the details as far as what property class is going to fit in your goals. So by going onto our website, going to the Invest tab, you can see the property ebook right there where you can download on a PDF format. I highly, highly, highly recommend you do read this before moving forward. It's going to give you a really good understanding of what to expect for each property class involved. Okay, so let me back up here. I want to get you guys involved, so I am going to get you all started off and with the first poll question. So this is all anonymous. It's not going to show up of who chose what answer, but I wanted to get everything started for you guys to get you involved. So let's launch this first poll question here. So what is your target property class? Is it A, high appreciation, B, a mix of high appreciation and cash flow, C, cash flow, or D, you're not too sure yet? So I'll give you guys about 10 seconds or so to fill this out. Okay, about a couple seconds. Okay, so pretty cool. I like always seeing a mixture of everything in here because, again, everyone's different as far as what they're looking for. The great thing about Florida is it has every single one of these components, a mixture of both high appreciation and cash flow. So you're on the right webinar tonight. Okay. Now, let's get started here on the next slide. Okay. So before I bring on Barry and Ken, this is really going to be the determining factor of why is Marshall Reddick in these certain markets, right? So every one of Marshall Reddick's markets are strategically chosen if they fit into specific criteria that our analysts have determined to be the best fit. So there are 7 pieces to this puzzle, as you can see. 1, job market. What companies are coming into these metropolitan markets and areas for sustained growth, right? A company's not going to just pick up and move to a completely different city with the expectation of relocating again in a few years, right? Vacancy rates. These markets we've selected have low vacancy rates due to all of those factors which I'm about to mention, right? Which plays into economic diversity. What economic sectors are contributing to this market? Does it have a wide range of healthcare facilities, financial districts, industrial, technology, agriculture, etc.? Does it have a numerous amount of sectors that's going to support the industry if something were to happen to one of them? Housing affordability, right? Whether that be an A, B, or C class property. What is it that's going to be driving the home prices behind this decision, right? We want to make something that's affordable in an area where we can see our money grow. 5, landlord friendly. For those living in California, you probably have a good understanding of what we're talking about, but every state that we're in has laws protecting the landlord, not the owner. So that's always a plus when investing out of state. 6, is there a strong education system in place, right? And then I think 7 is one of the most important pieces of the puzzle, is reliable property management. Reliable property management, there's a funny saying here where, you date your real estate agent, but you marry your property manager. That couldn't hold true as, as funny as that sounds, because, you want to have the right real estate agent to get you into the right property, but you really want to find the best property management because you're going to be dealing with them on a monthly basis or however frequently that you need be. That's really going to be driving your business and making it successful for you. So now I'm going to bring on Harry and Ken Duffy, and they are exclusive Marshall Reddick buyers agents and have been, as you can see, since 2004. They are awesome. They've worked with hundreds of our clients and helped them successfully close hundreds and hundreds of properties throughout the year. So without further ado, Ken and Terry, take it away.
Hello,
hey
everybody.
Guys, what's going on? Welcome to South Florida. Garrett, thanks for that introduction and just the leading up to letting us paint a picture for all the webinar folks out there just listening. Guys, if you don't have anything handy to write with, I suggest you grab a pen and some paper. We're going to kind of blast some information at you guys and move through the PowerPoint and just kind of give you an idea of what's going on down in our market. The South Florida, Southwest Florida market is hot. It's been hot. Terry's been just working the phones and the computers real hard for the last 9 to 10 months. Everybody's buying down here. And we have a real good market. It's performing well with cash flow properties. So we'll move through the PowerPoint, and I think at the end we have an opportunity to take some questions. On the slide you guys are looking at now, you get Terry's email address. Write that down and the phone number. So if you guys have any questions while you're sitting at your computer now, you can shoot her an email right to her computer now, and she can answer that as well. And when we get through, if you guys have any questions you want to, feel free to call and get a hold of Garrett as well as the contact through Marshall Reddick. All right, so this is Southwest Florida, and this is the location where we're at. For those of you guys who have never been to Southwest Florida, we're on the quiet side. over here on the Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Sanibel.
Pretty side.
Yeah, the pretty side is what we like to call it. Everything on this side it evolves around water. All these communities, they're around water. We've got real close access to some of the world's best beaches. Sanibel, Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel is always rated #1 in the top 10 beaches throughout the world. Every single year they always make the list. So the two areas that we specifically target to sell and vet properties and look at to fulfill the needs and wants for the Marshall Reddick Group is in Cape Coral and Lehigh Acres. Lehigh Acres is a little bit different. It's kind of a bedroom community to the Fort Myers Cape Coral area, and we'll hit a slide here shortly where it'll show you geographically what it looks like and the location to Cape Coral. So this is a pretty good map of Lee County, Florida. What you'll see is a large yellow shaded area kind of in the dead center up to the upper left there. That's the city of Cape Coral. That city is quite unique. It's one of the largest cities in the state of Florida, and it's comprised of over 400 miles of canals throughout the city. So there's a lot of waterfront living. There's a lot of high-value property. When Garrett talked about your different classes of properties, if you wanted to find a $4 million property, we can find you a $4 million property in Cape Coral without any problem whatsoever, all the way into the northern part of Cape Coral where we can find properties, single-family homes, in the low 100s, the mid-100s. So it's a very diverse community. It's very established with regards to commercial jobs. There's a lot of jobs that are pouring into the area. We'll hit some slides there and we'll talk about some vacancy rates down in Southwest Florida due to the explosion that we've had in the construction industry. The high rises are starting to come up out of the ground now in Cape Coral, city of Fort Myers, all the way down into Naples, Florida. So this map will kind of give you an idea what the area looks like and our close relation to the beaches. As you can see, to the right-hand side of the city of Cape Coral there on the map, it kind of runs up the Caloosahatchee River. That river runs completely across the state of Florida. So if you lived on the east coast of Florida and you wanted to come over to the west coast with a boat, you could probably do it in about 2 days. There's a series of locks that let you through, and you come through Lake Okeechobee. So you do have access from one side of the state to the other, and we do have a large group of people in communities that like to take boat trips, and they go across the river and spend a few days on the other side and then come back over. So it is a boater's paradise, as they call it down here in South Florida. So these are just some photos that I took. Southwest Florida and the Fort Myers beaches. Like I said, we're world-renowned for our beaches down here. The beaches are pure sugar sand. I don't know how they get them that clean, but apparently it has to do with the currents. All of our beaches are just white powdered sand, and that's what really draws this location for vacationers throughout the state of Florida. A lot of people, when they come down to vacation, they come down to Southwest Florida. Tons and tons of people came to the state of Florida last year. We had 105 million visitors to the state of Florida, and I think that broke a record according to Governor Rick Scott, and that's what kind of drives our economy. We've been here since 2000, Terry and I. We've been selling real estate since 2004 for the Marshall Reddick Group exclusively. We're specifically buyer's agents. We pretty much don't do general real estate. We just do real estate for the group and the investment group. That's how we're able to dedicate our time specifically to the investors' needs. So getting back down to the beaches in South Florida, this is why we do what we do down here, because we love it, and it's a great place to live. It's a great place to invest. Terry's done quite a few deals last year for the Marshall Reddick Group, and they're performing real well. So we'll talk a little bit about the city of Fort Myers. This is kind of like the hub. This is where it all started down in Southwest Florida. It's an old city. The city of Fort Myers used to be a training facility for World War II pilots back in the day, and it's grown since that. It's a huge city. It's a large city. It's the population is roughly around 600,000 during normal season. We have a specific region or a specific time down here we call when the snowbirds come down, and we call it season. So when we talk about that word season, it's usually right after Thanksgiving and pretty much wraps up right around April, right after Easter. So our population just in the Fort Myers and Lee County grows from about 600,000 to over 1.5 million people. And those are people coming down for every type of reason that you can imagine. We have a large amount of people that come to our area from Europe, from Canada, and they come down and they spend 6 months, they spend 5 months, they spend 2 months. Sometimes they come down and create permanent residencies. So we have a lot of action, a lot of stuff happens during those 6 months. Beaches, restaurants, everything's crowded. The roads are crowded. Everything's crowded. So it picks up, and it's just a huge influx of money coming into our economy. So what's going on in the downtown Fort Myers River District area is they've had a revitalization about 3 years ago. They came into the downtown region and they kind of gutted all the old buildings and turned them into what millennials are looking for. And some of the text down below and some of those slides, the bullet points below, they're looking for residences that they can live in and they can walk to all the stores and shops and everything that they need. So millennials and baby boomers are seeking urban lifestyles. The downtown Fort Myers area and developers, they've already planned and on the books, it's over $500 million worth of condo, shops, office buildings. So there's a $60 million project that's actually, it's in operation now. They took an existing building and they gutted it and turned it into 323 upscale condominiums, and that opened in the first quarter of the 2017. So downtown Fort Myers is already home to 56 restaurants, bars, nightclubs, 39 shops. There's many more that are due to open, and the city is also working on a 600-car parking garage in the downtown area. So that's just another draw to the area. A lot of people that live in Cape Coral, they take the commute over the bridges that you see, and they come in and they work in downtown Fort Myers, as well as Lehigh Acres is a real affordable bedroom community, and a lot of people commute from Cape Coral into Fort Myers, and from Lehigh into Fort Myers is about a 20-minute car ride, so it's not that bad of a commute. These are 2 towers that have just been released. They're going to be breaking ground in the first quarter of 2017. They're high-end luxury condominiums on the Caloosahatchee River, and the project name is Allure. So they're starting to break ground now. We'll probably see the cranes up here in probably another couple of months. Just another indicator of what the market's doing here. All the developers are coming back in now, and they're starting to put those big high-rises up because they see the market starting to rebound real well, and it's a good time for them to start building. So we're seeing a lot of that, not only in Fort Myers, but all over Cape Coral as well, all the way down through Bonita Springs and Naples. So the whole area is just growing in leaps and bounds. The picture on the right there is a little shot of the downtown area that is going to have an explosion happen right there at the convention center. They're going to be putting up a Marriott hotel, a 12-story hotel, 300 rooms. So they're going to expand on the convention center right up against the waterfront there, which is a big project. They finally released all the bids, so the bids are going out for the contractors now to start work probably within the next couple of months. I think the Harborside Convention Center is going to shut down completely when they start coming in and doing the heavy construction work. So a lot of stuff happening all over the place. So let's switch gears a little bit, and we'll talk about Lehigh Acres. This was another community that was platted and designed back in the 60s by the Rosen brothers. They came out and they took 115 square miles of Lehigh Acres and they subdivided it for single-family residences, quarter-acre lots, about 10,000 square feet for a quarter-acre lot, and about 25 to 35,000 square feet for a half-acre lot. So they're all subdivided into half-acre lots and quarter-acre lots, as you can see. Very affordable out in Lehigh. It is one of the highest elevations in Lee County, so there's no flood insurance, and that's a plus with cash flow. And there's a lot of properties and a lot of opportunity out there. There's only about 97,000 people living in Lehigh Acres right now. I believe it's right up around 100,000 now, and it's got to build out sometime in 2050 to exceed 200,000. So when you look at it on the map, if you guys go to Google Maps and you start looking at the area, when you vet you're vetting your locations and look at, there's a lot of land available out there. So it's good. So when we go out there and we look to sell investment homes or build new investment homes, we try to find lots that are in great locations for access and that are going to give the highest return for resale and for rents. So Lehigh is a great area to invest in as well. Cape Coral seems to be the place that everybody wants to be recently, so that's where the majority of our sales are happening, over in the Cape Coral area. Lehigh Acres also has 5 public golf courses. There's tons. I think there's a golf course for every 5 people down here in Florida, because when the baby boomers come down, that's all they want to do is golf, eat, and go to baseball and just relax and retire. We're seeing a huge surge down in our area with baby boomers, because some of them probably 3 or 4 years ago didn't think that they can retire with their investments, but now they're rebounding. We're finding out with their investments are coming back real well, so they're actually able to regain some of their losses in the market and pull their money out and retire. So Lehigh Acres is a large suburb community of Fort Myers. It's located about 40 minutes from all the Southwest Florida beaches, so that's a great thing. Pretty much anything in the Southwest Florida area, within a half hour, 40 minutes, you could be at a great beach. Location in Lehigh offers easy access to Southwest Florida International Airport and a whole bunch of other venues that we'll be going through in the PowerPoint. So Lehigh is in a great location. A lot of the growth is headed out there as well. A lot of food stores are starting to pop up, and we'll hit another slide where the spring training is real close to Lehigh as well. So Cape Coral was developed around 400 miles of canals, offering abundant waterfront living. If you wanted to own a house and have a boat in your backyard and go out to the Gulf of Mexico, there are areas of Cape Coral in the southern part of that peninsula where you can actually get in your boat, and 30 minutes you can be out in the Gulf of Mexico. That's the way that Cape Coral was designed back in the 60s, and that's why people move down there. They want that Florida lifestyle. They want to have a boat in their backyard. If you guys ever need any information specifically to the Cape Coral area, if that seems to be the market that you're looking to invest in, you guys can just go to capecoral.net. That's capecoral.net, and you can pull up anything that's happening in that area. Another good website, another resource that we use here, we get a lot of our statistics from, is news-press.com. So that's news-press.com. That's another one it's like a local newspaper, and you can dig up all the real estate information. They've got tabs on the left bar for real estate, commercial, construction, everything that's going on. So Cape Coral is really booming right now because the commercial corridor is just exploding over there. So Cape Coral's business community has seen growth mostly in the commercial and manufacturing sites. A lot of people are coming down there. A lot of big corporations are moving to South Florida. We have a company in Fort Myers that just released just the other day, Gartner. They're an information technologies company, and they're due to hire about 900 employees by 2019. They're a $2.3 billion company. They employ about 1,100 people at one location in Fort Myers, which is right next to Lehigh Acres. So it's a great access, great company, really huge company growing. They're putting massive buildings up to house all their employees. So that's another good thing that I got off of one of the websites, and we pass the building all the time when we're going out to Lehigh. We see the construction cranes putting building, continually adding onto their campus. So Cape Coral offers competitive labor costs, tons of available land, qualified workforce, and the quality of life in Cape Coral is second to none, in my opinion. You can't find those areas around the state of Florida. If you do, if they're on the East Coast, some of the properties and the values over here are almost half of what they would be over on the East Coast of Florida. So a lot of great opportunities in Cape Coral for the investor. Colleges are really starting to crank up in our area. They've been here now. We've got about 20 colleges in our area. There's 3 or 4 big hitters. Florida Southwestern is a big one, and Florida Gulf Coast University, which is right where we live in Lee County. It's not too far from our house, and that campus has exploded. They had a student enrollment about 3 years ago of about 4,000, and now they're tipping the scales at 12,000. They've increased their student population due to a huge nursing program and IT, information technologies programs that they've started up. So colleges are good. Families, they want their kids coming down to a safe area, and that's where they're coming into Southwest Florida. The campus is growing. You've got Hodges University. There's tons of colleges down in our area. So that's also good, if you're looking to buy a house and use it as a rental. then you may have some college kids that are in there renting it, or the parents are paying for the tuition. There's definitely a housing shortage for college housing down here, so there's a lot of construction going on around the campuses to do that. Just where we live in Lee County, they added 600 housing units within a probably 3-mile area of the, or 3-mile radius of the college, the 2 colleges down there for the kids in housing. So we're seeing a lot of apartment complexes being built and going up for that specific reason. So a strong economy with regards to that. Florida Southwestern just opened this new their Suncoast campus for volleyball and basketball stadium. So it's up, it's open. It's not only for basketball and volleyball. They actually had a home and garden show in this facility last week. So they spent $24 million to build a 75,000 square foot, 3,300 seat arena right in Fort Myers, right not too far, maybe 2 miles from downtown. So the big companies are coming in, they're investing, the colleges are investing, so just continued growth. When you look to invest in areas, you want to make sure that they're not stagnant. So if you ever take a trip down here to Southwest Florida, you'll probably be blown away with all the stuff that's going up and being built. Here's a picture of FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast. This is coming in the main gate. They just acquired another 120 acres to the campus, which was donated to them. And I believe they're going to be adding on to their basketball stadium and their program, and hopefully another parking garage, because they definitely need more parking in there. Florida's got real big shopping venues down here. When people come down for the snowbird season, they come down and they're literally on vacation for 6 months. We've got 3 major shopping malls, and when I mean major shopping malls, I'm talking these shopping centers are built on 250 to 300 acres. They're just massive facilities. They've got this one shopping center here, Gulf Coast Town Center, is right near the college. It's got over 250 stores, and they range from everything from Target to Bass Pro Shops. So this is a massive venue. You can literally park your car and walk to all these venues, stores, food stores, restaurants, and they're all pretty much themed kind of the same, the shopping venues down here, and they're just busy 24/7. So a lot of retail, a lot of money pours into our area, which supports the economy and jobs. So a lot of job growth. So Miramar Outlet, it's another big outlet mall. They just added the 4th expansion to this outlet mall, and this one's in South Lee County as well. Another venue there that's got over 200 shops and stores. It's all discounted outlet center. So it's real big location. So it's another venue to come shopping to. And this one here is Coconut Point Mall. This is the Simon Group. They're a big company out of Minnesota. They came down and built this specific type of mall where they have a lot of residences that live over the commercial. So you'll have White House Black Market, you'll have Tommy Bahama's, all those kind of restaurants and clothing stores, and then they have 3 to 4 story condos that are built right on top of it. So everything down in South Florida, at least in the southwest part of Florida, Cape Coral, everything has a Mediterranean look, so it's very clean. Our area is extremely new. With new growth. I mean, it's been around a while, but we've seen such a huge spur, in population growth that everything, all these commercial businesses are trying to catch up to support the local economy and the local population, which is grown tremendously. So, back in 2012, when we used to head out to Lehigh all the time, we were always wondering why they were clearing this huge tract of land. Well, the JetBlue basically is the sponsor for the Red Sox training center. This is a massive facility. They're always got something going on here. Right now, spring training is huge in our area. We have 3 major teams that spring train in our area: the Minnesota Twins, Red Sox, and I believe there's another Marlins there. There's a smaller Marlins team. But just from the short amount of time that spring training is here in our area, there's anywhere from $4 to $7 million in revenue that gets pumped into the economy from people coming down, restaurants, rental cars, you name it. I mean, everything that anybody could want when they come down here for spring training. They're in the process now of putting up hotels and a huge food store. Publix is our food vendor down here for major food stores, but they're doing a lot of commercial building now to support the training centers in our area. And this particular JetBlue ballpark is literally about 2 miles from Lehigh Acres, and they went out there where the land was available to build this massive facility. So it's been open and it's been running, and it's huge. They have all kinds of different trade shows there, RV shows. They have state fairs there and all kinds of stuff. So another good asset to our area. These are just some photos I took about 6 months ago, and just driving around town and looking at some of the construction going up. I'm like, wow, this is definitely it's starting to really pick up. A lot of high-rise condos being built. Just some photos here that I took. Millions of dollars. So there's some of these complexes are just one building out of maybe 5 or 6. Kalia Bay is a huge one down in Collier County. They're putting like 6 buildings up, in one location. So a lot of jobs and just a very robust economy. So Lee County has a very strong job climate. Fort Myers area added 12,000 jobs between April 2015 and April 2016. Florida created 235,000 jobs statewide and had a very, very strong, high private sector job growth. And we were rated of the 10 most populous states in February. So Forbes has got a bunch of information that's out there as far as job growth. Florida's job growth overall was 3.5%. Florida added 251,000 jobs between 2015 and 2016. So the numbers are constantly going up, and it's a good thing for the state. So it's real good. We had 365,000 people move to the state of Florida last year, and which is amazing. We are now the 3rd most populous state in the nation. We passed New York, so we're climbing up probably close to around 18 million in the state, and that a large amount of that is baby boomers moving down to the area. So there was a statistic out there I thought was kind of interesting, and it was from the governor, Rick Scott, and he basically said 85 visitors create 1 job in the state of Florida. So every year, if 85 visitors come to our state, it creates 1 job. Now, how many visitors did we have last year? Over 105 million visitors to the state of Florida. So it just kind of gives you an idea of what's going on with regards when you're thinking about where should I invest in some area that's growing and real robust. I think South Florida is definitely a good venue to look at and vet for yourself to see where you guys want to put your investments. So Fort Myers area had the fastest job growth among all metro cities in Florida. Growth was in leisure, hospitality industry, and we were the fastest. What do we say? And the second fastest job growth rate. Trade, transportation, utilities, professional, and business. I can tell you, IT is blowing up down here. Gartner is huge, and a lot of other businesses are starting to look. Gartner is just a massive information technologies company, so they're doing real well. Hertz, they broke ground here back in 2014. They built a massive campus. They moved from, I think it was Passaic, somewhere in New Jersey. They brought their entire company down here. They continually hire people. They're looking to put on at least 1,700 by 2019. It's a massive company. It's their world headquarters. It's built on 75 acres. The main building is complete and up and running, and now they're starting to build outbuildings on the same campus. So they continually have job fairs at the hotels. The Marriott is one there in Bonita Springs where they consistently hire people. So that's another good draw for the area as far as jobs and just sustainability. So the airport continues to grow. 8.4 million annual passengers in 2015. Just some of the stats you guys can read through on the slide there. The flights are definitely increasing. They're looking to add another concourse, which is going to increase the gates. We have a huge influx of Canadians, Germans, and Europeans that fly here in season, so they're looking to add a lot more to the airport. They just broke ground on, it's called the Florida Airport Skyplex, and it's all the land as you're driving into the airport is being cleared. And they're basically, it's over 1,000 acres that they are getting set for putting utilities in for water, electric, for any kind of industry that wants to come into the airport and be close to the airport. The airport is going to start expanding. They're looking at building another runway, another 5,000-foot runway. So they've got the federal grant to do so. They just put in a new fire department, a new ARF fire rescue fire station there. Is a $4 million project, so they're doing the infrastructure to add that second runway, and once that second runway gets approved, then they'll have to put the control tower up so they can see the second runway. So that'll be things that are going to be coming out of the ground in 2017. So just a growing airport is really good. So the airport had a contribution to the area, to the region's economy through direct and indirect sources at the total amount of $4.3 billion annually. That number is probably a little higher than that now. So just some things from the Lee County Economic Development. There's another website down at the bottom you guys can write down. It's leecountybusiness.com. That's leecountybusiness.com. And that's another great resource for you guys to pull up information on the area. June 2015, you can see what Bloomberg wrote about. We saw the highest job growth. Fort Myers was ranked number 4th with a 4.5% increase. Cape Coral ranked number 1 for the best cities for future job growth. ZipRecruiter, Cape Coral, Fort Myers ranked number 11th in the South for job creation. And then January 2017, Cape Coral, Fort Myers ranked 2nd in the 10 hottest real estate markets to watch for 2017. So just some more good stuff to chew on. Best and worst places for job growth. So we go down the list. Naples, Florida is number 1 for the best, so job growth. Then you had Myrtle Beach, and then Cape Coral ranked number 3, and then Orlando. So if you look, there's what, 1, 2, 6 Florida cities that are having extreme good job growth. It's got to be the sunshine and the beaches.
All in the South.
Yeah, all in the South. Cape Coral also announced they're going to start construction on a 35,000 square foot convention center at the foot of the Westin Hotel. Tarpon Point is a major hotel chain, and they have a huge marina down in the southern part of Cape Coral. So there's a lot of big houses that go up down there. Tarpon Point's a very affluent neighborhood. You probably couldn't buy a house in there under probably $2 million. So it's very expensive, and that's the kind of the draw. It's a real good backbone for the city of Cape Coral, and things are continually moving forward. The convention center, I think, is going to be a real plus. It's going to bring a lot of business and a lot of activity for the economy in the southern part of the Cape. Fort Myers, this is a MSA chart that we pulled up. We looked at it. It's basically, I just pay attention to the blue line. As you can see, you go through the years. We peaked here in 2004, 2005, and then somebody pulled the rug out in 2007, and then we just kind of flattened out for a little while between 9 and 10, and now we're on the ascent. We're going up. It's not a crazy rapid rise, but it's a good rise, and we're moving up. So if you follow that chart on the right all the way down, you look at appreciation rates over the probably 30-something years there. We look down at the bottom of 2016, and we're at an 8.92. We're real close to that for appreciation around here. Some other areas are a little bit higher, but we're right. I would say, good blanket numbers. We're probably between 8 and 12% appreciation on your properties if you were to purchase down in this area. So they're performing real well. So detailed market packet, you guys can go on the Marshall Reddick website, and if you haven't been on the Marshall Reddick website, I definitely encourage you to do so. You can click on the Florida markets down there when you get on there, and you can see all the properties that get uploaded onto the Marshall Reddick website. My wife puts those on every single day. She's taking them off and putting them on as they go under contract and they leave. So when you guys get some time and decompress, just click on that website and take a look and see what you can find. And like I said, sometimes they're still available, and sometimes she's got to check on them, but she's constantly uploading properties onto the Marshall Reddick website every single day. So we're constantly vetting properties and looking and seeing which are the best properties that are going to fit the criteria for the investors out there in the market. So, and the economic packet is kind of a detailed packet they put together for our area. So those other websites that I gave you guys, capecoral.net and leecountybusiness.com, are really good other resources for the area. So what we're going to do, I guess eventually here we're going to get into the properties. We've got some properties that we've vetted, and we're going to talk about tonight. My wife's going to get on there and talk about some of the numbers and the locations of the properties. So we'll move through these. If there's any of these properties that you guys like, just write down the information. Probably the easiest thing to do would be write the street address down, and then we can certainly talk to the advisor. Garrett would be your first point of contact, and then obviously she would get notified from Garrett what your interests would be on these properties. So moving right into them, we'll see if we can get things rolling. And I'm going to turn it over to Terry, and she's going to talk a little bit about the properties. I'm going to see if maybe, Garrett, are you on the line? Are you still there?
Yeah, of course.
Can you move the webinar bar? Do you have access? Just to either reduce it or?
As far as what?
Just move it out of the way so Terry can read some of the data.
It's covering part of it.
Or I can minimize the slideshow, and then I think I can myself minimize it. No. Let me try something. You have control over it now?
I'm not too sure.
Just bear with us a second here, folks. All right, let me see if I can do this. And then back to play. Okay. All right.
All right. So these are just a few of the properties that we picked out to showcase tonight that I just happen to really like. So this is the first one. This is your basically high house, and you can follow this down. Oops, what happened there?
Oh, sorry. You guys get it?
It went to the next. It went to the next house.
There
you go. Sorry about that.
Just follow that.
Okay, so this is it's a basic house in Lehigh. Little over 2,000 square feet. When you're looking at the pictures, obviously on the website there's a lot of pictures of the inside that you can go through. But just so you know how to read this, it's got the rent, obviously the sales price, and this one here is $159.9 for the Marshall Reddick Group. On the MLS, this is $169.9. So we got a good break on this one. This one here, actually the owner wants to lease it back as soon as it sells for the $13.95 price. But when you look at these, the taxes on here, those are taxes that are actually calculated from the Lee County tax website, so they're pretty accurate. The insurance quotes are insurance quotes that I got from an insurance company. I send all the properties to the property management company first for the rents, and I send the properties to the insurance companies to get the insurance quotes before I put them on the website, so the numbers are correct and are not going to be hugely different by the time you contract on them. And so then if you go down, the Marshall Reddick puts in like management fees, which is 8%, which is a special deal that we get from my Realty Story Property Management. It's normally 10%. I don't usually find anything that has HOA fees because HOA fees take away from the cash flow, so I stay away from that. Utilities are always covered by the tenants. They pay all utilities here. Landscaping, normally the landscaping is done by the tenants also, unless you choose to have it done by the property management company. So you can go down and then you can see what the monthly income on this property would be, $420 a month, which is really great. They give you guys some very conservative estimates on maintenance and vacancy. Our vacancy rate right now here in our area is 3.6%. It's extremely low. And when you go on the Marshall Reddick website, you can actually play with those numbers and you can reduce that to see how much more the monthly income would actually be at this time. And then their leasing fee is just half a month's rent for the first month. Normally it's a full month's rent for most people. But over on the left-hand side, always read the small stuff because that's where I kind of give you any additional information about the house. And normally if their current rents are below market value, which they normally are when people are selling stuff, and then what we can actually get when we take over the properties. But this is a great house, so if you guys go on and look at it, it's a great price, first of all, since we've got it $10,000 less than the MLS is. The next one, what do you hit, this little button there? Okay, this is another one. This is beautiful inside. It's got a gorgeous kind of like, the tile looks like kind of gray marble-ish. It's fully rented. It's a brand new lease. I believe it started in February. So, and it's rented at $1,300 for the next year. Got a brand new AC system that's got a 10-year warranty on it, so that's real nice. But we've been in this house several times, real pretty. And it's only $164.9. The same thing, you can just go down the numbers and you can see the monthly income on this one would be $336. And if you reduce the vacancy rate, it's going to be even higher than that. So just go on and look at the photos and see what you like. But this is a gorgeous house. It was just newly painted on the outside also. This is a Lehigh duplex. Duplexes right now are probably the hottest commodities going. First-time investors love them because they're looking for something with a much higher cash flow to get started in. So you got dual income. So if one side becomes vacant, you still got income from the other side. This one here is on Park Road. This is also fully rented right now. We've done several of them on this road. It's kind of a private road, and it backs up to a big area that's used for the sheriff's training. So it's got some property behind there, but it's nice. And these here, the average rent for the Lehigh properties that are, they're either 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 2-bedroom with a den, and with the garages and everything, is anywhere between $950 to $995 per month. And so if you look down on these, you get the monthly income obviously is going to be, double what you get on a house. And in Lehigh, the Lehigh duplexes, they're running right now anywhere from, $179.9 all the way up to over $200,000. Just strictly for the cash flow, and you can look at the annual ROIs are really high on these too. So like I said, these are real popular. I was working on finding more of these today because they come and they go very quickly when you're out searching, because everybody else is out searching for the best deals also. This is a brand new duplex in Cape Coral. Cape Coral's prices are going to be higher than Lehigh's, but they also get higher rent, where the average rent for a duplex in Lehigh, I told you, was between $950 and $995. The average in Cape Coral is about $1,150 up to, like, this one would be $1,300 per side because it's brand new. And this duplex is fully rented. It's only been, and it's a brand new lease that just started, I believe, 2 weeks ago. So $1,300 on each side. So this thing will cash great also. And you can follow that down. Same thing. Play with your. And this is going to have a lower maintenance because it's brand new, and it's got a builder's warranty that would come with it also. And Cape Coral also. Cape Coral is on city utilities for most of it. Lehigh Acres, most of those are on well and septic. It's not a bad thing. I know a lot of people don't know what the well and septic is, but it's just that it's more of a rural area. So you have a well that's buried in the yard, and the water comes up and it goes through a water system to be all filtered before it comes into the house. So you do have a septic system, and you've got a water system on the side of the house. There's a little bit of upkeep on that. They have to, you have the systems pumped out every year. It's only about $300 to have it pumped out, so it's not bad. And the tenants, it's kind of a 6 to 1, half of the others. The tenants love them because they don't have a water bill. The ones in Cape Coral, all of these are already on city utilities. What Cape Coral has done is they started in the south going through, and they just knock on the owner's door and they say, okay, we're here to put the city utilities in now. And as an owner, you don't have a choice. They just do it. And then there's an assessment that they slap you with, which is about $25,000. And you can pay it up front. A lot of people just have it spread out in your taxes over 10 years to make the cost smaller, and they do it that way. So when I'm searching for properties in Cape Coral, I try to find properties that are already on city utilities and already have the assessments paid. This duplex already had all the assessments paid. The builder did that when he built the place. And if you have more questions on that, just, you can talk to me about that, or send me an email or something like that, because I know sometimes that gets a little confusing for people. But this is gorgeous. He actually had 2 of them, and one of them is already under contract. So this is his second one. This is another house. This one just came available in Lehigh Acres. This was just all renovated on the inside. And I just found this, I actually literally just found this today. So when you see the initial repair cost at the top, that's a guesstimation that I just go on because I always figured there's going to be something that needs done. And you could get in that house and it might have, $500 worth of repair costs. You don't know. When I find the properties, off of the MLS. We get them, you know, we look at them. We don't really know everything that's going to be needed until we have the inspection done. And in Lehigh Acres, we have the home inspection, and we also have a septic inspection done to make sure, you know, everything is checked, so there's no surprises. And then, of course, if anything ever comes back on it, we take it back to the seller if there's anything major. We have a 10 to 15-day inspection period to get that done. And obviously, if there's something that, you know, we don't like, then you have that time period that we're doing our due diligence to cancel the contract and get a full refund of your escrow if the seller doesn't want to be, you know, nice and work with us on something. But this one's got new flooring in, it's got new well equipment, new appliances, and you can look down the monthly income on that is, you know, $457. It'll be a little higher because of the vacancy rate also. Our average tenants down here stay in properties for 3 to 4 years. So a pretty long time. Okay, it looks like Garrett's up for a new poll.
Yep, hopefully you guys were found your next home in one of those. So I am going to pull up a question here for you guys, and I will launch that right now. So here is a poll of which property did you like the best? The vacant property single family on 33rd, the rented single family home on 15th, the rented duplex on Park Road, the rented duplex on 16th Place, and then finally the vacant single family on Pina 4 Avenue. So I'll give you guys some time to choose your favorite. All right, give you guys about another 5 seconds or so. Got almost everyone on there. All right. Great. So again, diverse throughout. A lot of you guys like the rented duplex on 16th, which is great. Great property. So if you had any more questions regarding that, contact myself, and then we'll get you and myself and Terry will have a call to go over that in more detail. So awesome. I will continue on here.
Okay, so also if wait, that doesn't move.
Oh.
Okay, this is our property management team. We use these guys. I've been with he did it. Yeah, he already did it. I hung my license with Travis. He's a broker about 3 years ago, because when we would go to look at properties, you see a lot of good stuff and you see a lot of bad stuff. And I would always ask the tenants who their property management was. And so we got saw a lot of properties where it didn't look like any management was being done. So you want to stay away from them. And then we came across Travis's properties, and they were always in good condition. So I ended up hanging my license there so we could have closer access to a property management company, and I could always kind of keep my hand on the wheel also. Travis is, he's young, he's very smart, he's been in Cape Coral for a long time. He does commercial, he does investing, he does everything, and he's brilliant. And him and his tiny little wife here, they have 6 children between the age of 1 and 13, and they've got 1 on the way. So he's a busy guy. But they're very thorough with what they do. They do inspections twice a year, and a lot of companies do inspections once a year, and some of them don't do them unless they think it's warranted, so properties, kind of go into disarray. But Travis is very accessible. Almost all the investors have a conversation with him, as soon as they get contracted, and he'll take the time to answer any question that you have also. He'll set a time, and he's just real good. His wife is one of the managers at the office, so she does all the bookkeeping and everything. But like I said, they're just real thorough. They've got a portal, an online portal that everybody has their own account with, so you can log onto your account and you can see every single thing that's going on in your account. So it's very transparent what they do. So it's just full service management company. They're actually pushing 400 units now in the 5 cities that they work with. and they've got 4 full-time actual property management people. When I set up the inspections for these houses, one of the property managers goes with me to every inspection. So at your inspections, there's the professional property manager, there's myself, and there's the home inspector. So you got 3 different eyes on your property, everybody taking different notes because we all see different things. So while the home inspector is looking at all the, the structure things and your AC and the water systems and everything like that, the property management company and I are walking around the inside looking at all the cosmetic stuff, and then she'll come back or he'll come back and advise you on anything that they think you could do to, get optimal rent on your property, because that's what we always want. And they're very strong about keeping up with current market rents. Most of the time when we find resale properties online, the rents are below current value. And the sellers do that because the sellers figure when they're selling a property, they want to keep it fully rented or as much as they can, because it looks better for another investor to say, well, hey, there's already income coming in, even if it's lower than market value. So when we get the properties transferred over to My Realty Story, the first thing they do come renewal time is increase the rent to where it needs to be. If you decide there's something that you don't like about them, you can cancel with these. A lot of companies charge you a fee to cancel. You guys give these guys a 30-day notice, and you're done. You can walk away. We only do year leases. We do not do 6-month leases or 3-month leases or anything less than that. And we don't have very many evictions, but they do come up obviously every now and then. Florida is a very owner-friendly state, so they definitely side with the landlords. An eviction takes about 30 days here. These are the things I think that we kind of talked with on this. All the specials that they have, we talked about those. Okay, and this goes into something else. Oh, this is you, Garrett?
Yeah, so I can take over. Thank you, Terry and Ken, for all that information.
Also,
really,
I want to say one more thing.
Okay,
A lot of people will send me properties too. So if you find a property, if you're one of those people that's online and stuff looking, and you want me to check it out for you, you're free to send that to me via email.
Right, exactly. Thank you, Terry. And just to piggyback off of that as well, if you send it to both Terry and myself, what I can do for you is plug it into our financial calculator, so it plugs in all of those vacancy, maintenance, taxes, insurance. All those will be plugged into that particular property to see what kind of return or cash on cash flow or number that you're getting. So definitely send it to both of us, and we can help you figure out which property is going to be the best. So, yeah, I mean, the majority of the clients I work with, go to Florida for a multitude of reasons, but it really comes down to the price point and what kind of cash flow that they can receive just to increase their cash flow, right? And everyone has different reasons why they want more cash flow, whether they want to, they're retiring soon to supplement their income, or they want to take more vacations a year. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter as long as it gets, makes you happy at the end of the day. So, again, this is by investing in real estate that's going to produce you cash flow and have long-term appreciation. It's going to do all these for you. You can, take more vacations, spend time more with kids or grandkids, more secure retirement. I've seen a lot of clients recently in the past 6 months come to me with the hesitancy to really get into the stock market, because we don't really know where that's headed with a new president, with interest rates going up, and kind of what's been going on across the globe, not just within the United States. So to get more of stability, a lot of people turn to real estate for retirement. Oops, where'd it go? Okay. So this is all my information. This is the last slide on our presentation, but it was great having you all on here. Take down my phone number and email, and I can certainly get a plan started for you, or just to answer any questions. Again, this is all free, so utilize me. with any questions or concerns going forward, and then I can certainly get you in touch with the right people, and especially Terry and Ken down in Florida. So Terry and Ken, thank you so much for all that useful and vital information covering the markets down in Florida. And for all you that joined us tonight, we appreciate the time that you took out of your night to spend it with us and to better your education, not just within real estate, but for your future as well. So thank you so much. We appreciate you having you guys on. And then Terry and Ken, we'll speak soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in.
All righty, guys.
Have a great night, everybody.